Tony Dunst here with my latest Learn WPT video. Today we're taking a look at check raising and then what? What happens after we check raise the flop, and on certain turn cards, how do we proceed? Do we continue betting? Do we check and slow down? What happens next? I think a lot of intermediate to advanced players, when they start playing around with solvers or doing a lot of study, realize, oh, I should be check raising a lot more out of the big blind, especially against opponents who might be over c-betting. However, then when they get deeper into the decision tree of the hand and they have these turn and river decisions, they're not exactly sure how to play out these check raise pots. And I know that's been true of myself over the last few months. So I've spent some time looking at these situations, and today I've got 4 hands that I did play in real life and wasn't entirely certain in game how I was supposed to proceed. So we are starting with this hand here. My opponent 2.5x'd an early position, and I called in the big blind with 2-3 suited. So to give you guys a sense of what I'm calling with here, again, we're 40 blinds deep. Here's my calling range in the big blind. Calling pretty much everything suited, but 7 deuce suited, king 9 suited, doing some bluffing at a high enough frequency that it doesn't show up, and then all the good stuff getting 3-bet as well. And then here's my opponent's opening range. I don't know this is exactly what their opening range is, but I just try and go with the equilibrium ranges and proceed from there. So we were 40-ish blinds deep to start the hand, which means going to the flop we were about 38, and because he 2.5x'd it, the starting pot was about 7 blinds. And we will go back to the flop where we got this 5-5 deuce, 2 club, 1 spade flop. I had the 2-3 of spades in the actual hand. And as we can see, we have a pure check facing an early position. And our opponent is only small betting, which should come as no surprise when you get these low paired boards where the big blind is going to have a trips advantage over the pre-flop raiser. Our betting frequency goes down and our sizing goes down. So we see the 35% check frequency, and it's a pretty even blend of hands that are checking. The hands that c-bet at a really high frequency I think should be pretty intuitive. Stuff like, sixes through jacks, queens that both get value, and especially with the lower pairs, the 6s through 9s need a little bit of protection against the overcards. 10s are basically pure betting, and then aces are one of our bigger check hands, and then some of the middling suited aces that don't have clubs do a lot of checking, whereas the wheel ones do a lot more betting. That's pretty ordinary on these boards that don't connect super well for the pre-flop raiser, but do give some nut or trips advantage to the big blind. So in this hand, our opponent bet the small size on the flop, and I check raise my 2-3 of spades, which we can see here is a pretty high frequency play.